Hi, friends. Best of 2022, the Lifestyle Edition. I had wanted to include everything in my Best of 2022, but after editing just the beauty stuff and it being around 40 minutes long, I'm like, I gotta make a separate video for the other stuff. And I'm happy that I did, as I am long-winded, as you know, and I just wanted the time to elaborate on different gadgets, clothes, and protocols that I ran into this past year and had an immense impact on my habits and my lifestyle changes, a lot of which I included in several favorite videos. If you want more details, I made sure to add the said tag in that video, so if you type my name and whatever I'm talking about, it should come up and the timestamp would be on that video if you just wanted to go to that section. I'm going to start with my Casper glow light. I forgot when I introduced this gadget. It might have been during the summertime. Casper was running a sale with a lot of their accessories and I didn't know about the glow light. I just fell upon it because after listening to a lot of Dr. Andrew Huberman Lab podcast get on that about light exposure and how it dictates our circadian rhythm, how successfully we can be awake and productive, and how successful we can fall asleep and stay asleep for good quality sleep. I had no idea how much of an impact light had, and I started to dial in to the different light exposures that I run into throughout the day. So at the beginning, I make sure my overlight is on. Sometimes I turn on my glam core because I do wake up 5:30 in the morning, and that's when I want to devote my time to editing because that is when I'm most productive. There's no breakfast, I just have water, I'm a little more sharp then, so I put on my glam cord to get blue light in my eyes on purpose to turn up the productivity levels a little bit. But then as the day progresses, and especially now in the winter time when it gets dark at 5 o'clock, and if you still have work to do, it's like, oh boy, this is gonna be a little challenging. The glow light, especially if you are transitioning into sleep or you need a little more light before bed, if you like to read or maybe you like to listen to an audiobook or listen to some music, just to contribute to the winding down process. And the glow light is warmer and yellow, so there's not a lot of blue light in that exposure where it's not going to mess with your melatonin levels. They're going to rise naturally, because if you expose yourself to blue light later in the day, your brain is like, are we up? Are we getting ready for bed? Like, what's happening? And because of the glow light, like I have my Christmas lights up, I have another string of warm lights over my bed, again, towards the later end of the day to positively contribute to that winding down ritual. So when I do go to sleep or prepare for sleep, I fall asleep successfully. And because of that, a lot of the overhead lights in my space are down after 5 o'clock. And just to navigate around so you can kind of see where you're going, I used my glow light as like a little torch to navigate through my space. So it has been profound in the lifestyle change of light exposure and me again being more keen on circadian rhythm and having that success in ritual, being on schedule, and having the Casper glow light where you just turn it on by flipping it over. You can lessen the light exposure by turning it side. Is a neat gadget. And I also have the glow light night lights that you just plug into an outlet that kind of glows, or you could turn off the mechanism where it senses motion or it doesn't sense motion, and it's just nice. Like if you need to get up in the middle of the night, having a little bit of light won't interfere with you going back to sleep again. But if you go on your phone, that's gonna be an issue. So using that, the glow light, now I'm a little bit of a light nerd. In addition to that, in June, I started to stick with my muscle building program. Before, I was doing full body muscle building 3 times a week. I don't think my effort was high enough. It was tough because I wasn't used to doing like Bulgarian split squats and all these types of things on a consistent basis, but I could have pushed harder. So with the help of Renaissance Periodization, Revival Fitness, a lot of these different resources that I dove heavy into to help refine my own programming and decide, okay, listen, if you want to build muscle, you gotta give a little bit more, Missy. So I started in June. I first started with the full body program where I was doing full body 5 days a week, but unfortunately, because I'm still a beginner lifter, the frequency was too high and I wasn't recovering well. So I switched to a lower upper lower protocol, which is 4 days a week, and that allows me 2 full days after leg day. And yes, I did say on Instagram that I hated leg day when I was doing my full body program, but man, I had to go back to leg day simply because I wasn't recovering enough between the days where, even if like one day was quads and the next was hamstrings, like when you do deep squats and you do them at high volume, okay, like that's rough. So now I'm doing the 4 days a week, but from June till now, I have seen crazy improvement in my muscle development, and I would hold hypertrophy training under the umbrella of resistance training, because mostly people say strength training in place of hypertrophy. You can build muscle from both protocols, but once you start to optimize, meaning going further toward those ends of spectrum, you have to train differently. Strength training is a skill, is how much weight or how heavy you can lift at one time, whereas hypertrophy is how much muscle you can build. So there's more structural adaptation from the muscle building program, more neurological performative adaptation from the strength training program, and you can build muscle from strength, especially if you are a novice and you're just starting from scratch. My gosh, the gains are going to be nuts. But after like a year or two, if you want a little more definition, then you might have to shift your programming. Instead of it being under 5 reps per set, you might have to now shift from 5 to 30 reps, depending on the exercise, the machine, if it's free weight versus cable, what type of exercise, where it sits in your program that day, will be all determining factors as to what rep range you use. The thing is, though, when it comes to building muscle, you have to optimize and use the 5 to 30 rep protocol. And beyond 30, you're just doing endurance, right? So if you feel like you're holding the 3 or 5 pound dumbbells and you're doing all of this stuff and it might burn, burning is not an indication that you're actually building muscle. Burning might be an indication that you're working, but it won't lead to that adaptation. So I was devoted to sticking to muscle building from June till now, and I'm very happy with where I am. And it's more so that it's rewarding just to know I've been consistent for this long. And that's what I tell my clients too. A lot of people want to see changes after like 3 weeks. And when it comes to building muscle, I hate to break it to you, but you got to stick to something for at least 8 to 10 weeks to see a difference and be consistent. It's not like, 3 days, 1 week, and then no days the next week, and maybe 2 days. No. It's either 2 to 3 days a week, every week. And then if you find that your performance is dropping, you're feeling fatigue, you'll take a week off, maybe lessening the reps, lessening the load, and then you get back on. That's why it's important to keep track of your numbers. And why not? I will share this app that I actually found from Dr. Eric Helms and Jeff Nippard. I saw a YouTube video. Dr. Helms said that he used the Gravitas app where it keeps track of all your reps and sets from week to week. It even tells you if you hit PRs. So this is vital for me in keeping track of my progress. And again, when I see the reward in these minor changes in my body, I think that might be the reward, but the true happiness factor is knowing that I'm healthy enough and injury-free enough to keep going. And this all contributes, I think, to a better quality of life going forward, where I'm building the strength now so when I do grow older, I won't have osteoporosis or can mitigate it. If I fall, I'll be able to survive the fall and not be bedridden for the rest of my life. I'm cultivating an endocrine organ. Muscle is an endocrine organ. It's responsible for so many functions in the body. It's not just aesthetic. And I do hope going into 2023 that muscle is being highlighted again as an endocrine organ and not just like a six-pack muscle or booty, tight thighs and whatever. It's so much more than that. And I think if people understand its biological and physiological contributions to the body, they'll be more inclined to lift. They'll be motivated, encouraged to make this change to their body because it's like investing in your bank account. And I'm just, again, happy that I stuck with it and I continue to stick with it. Gonna lift this afternoon. Gonna do my bent over rows. As I was always about building the tush and tightening up the legs, you know, like a lot of women are, but I'm about building this back. And I realized when I was doing full body before I went hardcore in June, I wasn't doing enough volume for my back, not enough rowing, not enough pulling, and I definitely upped it and I can see and feel a difference. So yay, muscle building forever. What's next? Let's go into my anime clothes collection. A huge shout out to Kaiben Zero for being the gateway brand that unleashed my tsunami interest in anime clothes. This was the hoodie that set it off, okay? The Tengen hoodie from Demon Slayer Season 2, or more specifically, the Entertainment District, right? You got the wives here, and you got Gyutaro and Daki here on the other sleeve. I'm sorry, it's folded. Ever since I bought that hoodie, my closet, fam, I can say with confidence that the majority of my spending this year went to anime clothes. I was just not prepared for how many brands out there, creative, artistic, fun, different, right? I wasn't really into fashion because a lot of the stuff I see is like whatever and very generic, and to have these pieces that are more unique, conversation starters, and reflected just my love for anime and manga was a deluxe package. So after I bought stuff from Kaiben Zero, I then discovered Jinwei, Sora Clothing, Steady Hands, Hashira Studios. What else? I feel like there's another one. Those are the big five, I believe. And again, if you type my name and the brand in YouTube's search bar, you will see the monthly favorite video with me modeling more B-roll. But just to briefly go over, Jinwei is one of my most favorite brands. Just the whole streetwear vibe that it holds, and most notably are the character embroidered head crew necks that you see here with Luffy. I have a bunch and will continue to buy whenever she releases more. The oversized t-shirt that the silhouette itself is more oversized than your usual large t-shirt. This is actually a medium, longer past my hip, and also the sleeve seam drops lower, which I love. And this is my Anya shirt where you got Happy Anya on the front and Shocked Anya on the back. So clever. Hashira Studios, their hoodies are one of the most plushest hoodies, but what I adore about the brand is that its subtlety, right? That is not such a literal adaptation of the character or something from the character's design. Pieces of it, but embroidered on the piece, where people will just see it as like a standout piece and not necessarily something from an anime unless they are a fan and they could recognize that. This is my recent purchase, the Doflamingo hoodie, but I thought this was just so cool. You have the embroidery not only on the front with Doflamingo's eyeglasses, but on the back you have his Jolly Roger with like the thread and his hands in a charcoal thread that with the right lighting you can see, but again, it's not in your face and obvious. It's just subtle, which I think is a great touch to the design. And the hoodie is lined with pink fuzz. How clever is that? Again, if you know One Piece and you know Doflamingo, you see this hoodie and it's like immediate. Sora Clothing, I adore their t-shirts, where on the back you have a character collage from different manga panels all together in a just, I feel, in a fantastic way, where it's subtle in the front with the character name and design, but on the back you have like major occurrences from both the manga and anime. And I think, again, a really great piece, and I usually get mines in medium and large just to have that oversized look as well. Steady Hands. My goodness. Thank you to Aisha for introducing me to Steady Hands, because ever since she did, it has been a problem. Let me just put it like that. I don't know how many cardigans I've acquired ever since I think I first purchased mine probably in the springtime, because cardigans from Steady Hands, they always go on pre-order last weekend of every month. It's called Cardi Weekend. And then 2 or 3 months out from that order, you receive your cardigan. Steady Hands holds it open for the entire weekend, so there's no stress in like getting what you can and whatnot. You just, you know, kind of chill with that and order as much as you like, as I have. And here I have my Tanjiro cardigan, which one of my most favorite designs like of all time. And also, well, the one that I like more than the Tanjiro is my Gyu cardigan. Oh my goodness. The beanies too. I have a chopper beanie, there's a Law beanie, there's Trafalgar Law denim jeans. I know. The windbreaker jackets, like, oh my gosh, I don't need any of this. But again, the designs themselves unique, and if you are an anime manga fan, you can identify right away. But even if you're not, you're like, that's a really cool jacket. It's like, well, thank you so much. And you don't have to go into the character story, the plot. It's like you take the compliment and keep it moving, but you get the recognition, because guess what? These designs hit. Also by Studio Beans, they're oversized sweaters with the enlarged character designs either on the front or down the sleeves. Here I have my daddy, Nanami. And I also ordered a chainsaw one and a Tengen one and a Spy X Family one. Those should be arriving, I guess, in a few weeks, probably in January, and I'll be sure to be back on here for those January favorites, fam. Incredible, soft, just with the cream back and the designs on the front. I absolutely love it. So the reason why I even know about this brand is because of Diane on Instagram. She does incredible anime fashion, so great. If you're on TikTok, follow her there as well. I'll make sure to at least put her Instagram profile in the description, and from there you'll probably have a direct link to her TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, it's just too much. Diane wore this crop top, this one-piece crop top with Shirohoshi, the mermaid princess from the Fishman Island arc, and Luffy in her hand. But it was so abstract because it was close up and the crop design took up that entire scene. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I ran into the brand God Can't Destroy Streetwear. I didn't know that's what it was called. I just could never remember the acronym GCDS. God Can't, yes. I'm like, what is God Can't Destroy? God Can't Destroy Streetwear is an Italian brand that I believe was found in is on my pants somewhere, either early 2000s or late 90s. I hope there's nothing controversial about this brand, because listen, I just saw they collaborated with One Piece, and check out, that was the computation. I am embarrassed to reveal how much these cargo pants cost. I didn't know they existed, but when I saw the entire lineup of the God Can't Destroy Streetwear collab with One Piece, I lost my mind. These are the most perfectly designed cargo pants I have ever owned. Just know, again, I will not disclose the price because I am a fool. Just know that these were made in Italy. Mostly all the clothes were, okay? And they're 100% cotton. Not half this, not half that. 100% cotton with a little bit of give. So they were a little snug at the first try on. I was like, oh no, I should have gotten a medium. But Italian sizes, you know, they always run a little small. But because they were guy pants, I thought the small would be fine. Just turns out the small was perfect because they gave a little bit, so they got the right amount of hang. The length is perfect. I just love the obnoxious labeling and just in your face with God Can't Destroy Streetwear on all over the pants, but the One Piece logo down, I think it's the right calf, or forgot which side. You got the different character panels on there. It's like a lime yellow embroidery, not only on the pockets but also on the screening. The drawstring hardware is like, listen, if I whip my hips around and you get hit by these drawstrings, you're gonna get hurt. These are heavy. I can't stop wearing these pants. My goodness, I even thought about getting a backup pair. You're like, Alicia, stop it. I will have to get them in the medium because I copped the last small, and these were on sale and still were very expensive. Also, I have this bowling shirt. Like, why do I have this shirt? But I had to get it because it was on sale also from the same company, and I just loved all the characters on the shirt. And the bowling shirt design has the indentations on the side in a curved way. Lightweight, just feels good. And this was an extra small, so the size was perfect for me. Like, the sleeves dropped naturally from the silhouette itself, and the length was great. So I'm happy I picked up the extra small. I think that was the only size available, actually. And then I got the Shirohoshi crop that I saw on Diane's Instagram. It's all cotton too, so it's not as stretchy as like the one I'm wearing now, but I got that in a medium. Man, I knew it. I saw the size measurements on the website. I was like, ooh, no. I compared it to my Lululemon size, and in Lululemon, my top size is a 6, which is like a small, maybe small medium. They're small, much smaller. So I had to get the medium, and it's perfect because if I got the small, I don't know if I would have gotten it on in the first place, but it's not super tight around my armpits, which now with all this muscle building, like my pec width is like wider. You know, it's taking up a little more room than I expected, which I'm okay with. We love it. There are a few other things I bought from this collab, but the Doflamingo cardigan, why did I buy this? Why did I buy this? I knew because I would have regretted if it sold out completely, because this was a limited release. I just thought the design was clever with the feathers on the front, right? And you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. But when you turn around, you see the terrifying Doflamingo in that angle, like he's coming at you with the strings, with the string fruit powers. Insane. I was like, you don't need this. I did not need to buy any of this, but man, I am so happy that I have these pieces. And why I toned down the makeup buying a little bit as I approached the new year, because I spent some major money on this One Piece collab. Let me tell you, again, I would have regretted not getting it because since it was limited, and who knows if I would have found this from another retailer if they doubled the price because people were going after these items. I'm not entirely sure if they would, but a lot of stuff was sold out, and I think people had this collab on their radar. So there are a few things that I'm bummed that I missed out on, like the corresponding crew neck sweater for the cargo pants. The sweater basically took on the same design as the pants, and to have the matching crew neck would have been sick. With everything that I bought over the course of the year, I haven't adored my wardrobe as much as I have now, because in addition to my anime clothes obsession, I also realized how I am an avid devotee to the barrel leg silhouette in both pants and denim. When I first bought the Rag & Bone Alissa jean that I first encountered in store, and it was a rough start when I first tried them on. They were a little tight on me, and of course the Rag & Bone people were like, it's fine, they'll stretch out. I'm like, I don't know, man. When I stand up and sit down, it's like, they did eventually give, and I lost a little weight on the sides of my thighs, so they are a lot looser than how they started with the beginning, like in the summertime. So with that said, with the high waist and that barrel leg silhouette that's not exactly wide leg, it tapers a little bit towards the ankle. Forget it. That was the floodgate for any barrel leg resembling type of a design, whether it was denim, a different type of material. I bought so many of those jeans when they went on sale. I'm happy. Well, I should have waited. It's always tricky, right? You think you're getting a great sale, but then they add like another 20% off. You're like, but all the sizes were gone. So you really got to be on it, and I was not on it. I did get the rest of my pants on sale. I could have saved a little more money. It's all good as long as I didn't get them all full price. That was the goal. I have them in like this terracotta color, this beige color, a white wash, like a more blue wash, faded wash that you saw on the B-roll. I love these pants. They're not too baggy, but not too tight. They just fit me just right. And I do like a slim leg or a skinny jean. I have 2 pairs of skinny jeans that I'm regretting that I got. I have to be honest. I don't know why I insisted that I should have these. I guess because I see them all over. It's not my thing. I love barrel leg. I just, like, I don't care. I show my leg silhouette when I wear leggings. On off days, I just want to wear something a little more floaty, I guess. And that leads me to then present the Lululemon Ulti something high tech, whatever. I have them in 3 colors. I showed these a few months back. I forgot which favorite month video it was, but it takes on a similar silhouette like the Rag & Bone Alissa jean. I was not ready. When I tried these on for the first time in store, I saw them on the display. And when I tried them on, I was like, oh my gosh. Again, high-waisted, just enough elasticity to fit well with your size. That is, slight taper towards the ankle. The cargo pockets on the side weren't too bulky. They were more slim against the actual pants. They just slide and move with you. I could do squats in them. I could do all types of things. So in terms of pants and leg wear, with my Align leggings from Lululemon, that's my holy grail legging. Whatever leggings are out, I don't know about them. I don't care. Align 25-inch or the Align Pocket, size 6. That is it. And this last brand, I feel terrible buying from this brand because they charge so much money for these types of crops. They're mostly made out of modal. And I try to get them on sale as frequently as I could. But the problem is that they're always sold out of like the size and color I want, and the style I want. These are the Joah Brown crop tops. They're stretchy and soft, and they hug the body without feeling like they're pushing too much air out of me, I guess. And I love the turtlenecks. I think it's all modal. I will have to confirm on the website, but there's a little bit of translucency there where you have like that stretchiness, that give, that softness. I believe this is the mock turtleneck design in like the sienna color, and these like types of tones, and they're slightly see-through, I think beautiful. And again, I'm not a huge clothes person in that respect where I'm wearing like high design things. I just kind of locked into my personal style this year, and with all the pieces that I showed, the crop tops, the barrel leg pants, the anime clothes, the cardigans, the streetwear stuff, I teeter-totter within that spectrum. And I could dress up and look fancy and glamorous. It's just that I haven't encountered those events in my life. Even though I went to the Star Wars event from Pat McGrath, people were looking fancy there. I wasn't about to wear a dress, and when it was cold, rainy, where I had to take Metro North and the subway to and fro, okay? Maybe if I had a ride, I would have, but I didn't. I wore something practical that will keep me dry and warm from origin to arrival, origin to destination. And that's that. I think we got that all from the clothes. Why don't we go into some nail polish? Lots of nail polish moments for 2022. The first one I'll begin with is the Holo Taco Dark Rainbow Collection. Amber Apathy. The color in here is like a rich antique. I can't even explain it. I like linear holo, but when it's like dark grungy linear holo, sign me up. Especially, I think it's this color here. Let me see. Crimson Void is beautiful. But I want to show what I think was one of my most favorites. Dead Petals. I keep them in the box because, you know, gotta keep it organized. Dead Petals was my embodied Natasha Denona color. It was like a rich burgundy color that on the nail, ooh, it was so great. And all the colors are like a deep forest green, a deep midnight, crimson void, leaning more crimson. This actually, dare I say, kind of mimics the Star Wars and Pat McGrath color palette with Sith Seduction. And then you have, I think, Sunken Secrets, which is like the Midnight Holo, and the forest one, Lost in the Woods. Oh my gosh. I might have to do something about that and kind of like match them up together. And the next Holo Taco collection that I adored that released in 2022 was their magnetic nail polish. Their first magnetic formula in 5 colors, I believe. My favorite was Fairy Tale. It's not in the box, but I wore Fairy Tale, I think, for a few videos back. They also have have a green, a blue, more of like a magenta, and I think the red is outrageous. It's like a vibrant ruby red, and I agree that there is slight inconsistency here throughout the formula, but with all magnetics you have to shake the bottle before you start painting so the magnetic particles are evenly distributed, and that design is ensured when you hold the magnet wand over your nail. Mooncat's Hocus Pocus collaboration that released in October. These magnetics were insane. Just like these deep, rich, I mean, there's a lot going on here. One of them, Melica Mystica, one of my most favorite shades, because not only did you have the magnetic shimmer, but you also had flakes in the formula. Let me get a wand. Hold on. Look at that. On the nail. So usually I like to have that on the nail. That's what it would look like. What's challenging, however, is keeping that shift and it not spreading wide, which I think I have to hold the wand over my nail bed longer. What I also tried was having a mini fan on standby. So as soon as I applied my top coat and pull the magnetic wand out from holding it over the nail bed, I'll put the nail bed next to the fan so it could dry faster in that more cat eye, just sharper look on the nail. So I've been experimenting with different approaches, but man, Melica Mystica is one of my most favorite. Also, the lime color in here, dab of Newt when they were brewing their potions. I don't have a magnetic that took on this green. Usually the greens are like a deep rich green, like a forest green, turquoise type of a shade, but in this color, super pretty. And I bought a lot for Mooncat this year. Their Technicolor Dreams collection, I think that dropped over the summertime. Those pastel colors were beautiful. The cream pastel, that was my go-to for the summertime. White nail polish on the toes, anything bright pastel-y on the nails. Now, you know, I'm into these, and that brings me to Clionahd's magnetics. These are intense. These magnetics are unlike what I have in my collection because the magnet change is a different color altogether. Whereas if I dive back into Holo Taco, for instance, taking twice in a blue moon, you have the blue, right? And when you take the magnet on there, it's like a lighter blue, right? Whereas the Clionadh, again, is like a totally different color altogether. It's insane. What do I have on the nails right now? I think I have this one. Is it Toxic Sludge? I think it is, but you see how my magnetic line didn't hold, so I'm trying to figure out a better method to kind of make it stay. Here we have Distortion. I have not applied this yet, but this is more like a purple shift in this, I don't even know that base color, my gosh. What I hear is Psychonaut, like astronaut, but Psychonaut. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm sorry, Clionadh. This is a fun color too. So I bought all 8 because they were all so unique, and I can't get enough of these. These are beautiful, but again, tricky to hold that shift in a more sharp cat eye design without it spreading. You can see the shift from purple to green, but I want like that crazy line that is like in your face apparent. So if you have any suggestions, fam, drop them down below. I'll be happy to adapt them, practice them, so because we gotta get these nails popping. All right, final category. Let's end with brushes, shall we? I'll start with Sonia G. Sonia has had amazing releases this year. The Kiyaki set, the Jumbo Bronzer, the most recently released Mount Fuji brush and holder, the Traditions Trio. Did she release the G Pro as well this year? I think she did. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me confirm up above next to me. What my favorite release from Sonia, however, without a doubt, has to be her Fusion eye set. She released her Fusion face set, I think last year summer. The Fusion eye set truly opened the doors of possibilities for me in now inviting more cream shadow into my life. I thought I had the right tools, but I guess I didn't. These just transformed how I see cream shadows now. I use them more often. Forget it. These with the newly released Chromolux pots from Pat McGrath, I can't get enough. I'm like using those things now every day. Again, especially because of the Fusion blender. The Fusion worker is a great pickup blender all in one. I mean, I have a video going through each brush, showing you different mediums. They work fantastically well with powders as well, so you can bounce back and forth. That set, I mean, blown away by its efficacy, beautiful blending, just refined execution of applying your eye makeup, specifically liquid and cream shadows, that I did not usually reach for because they were a pain to deal with. Even with an undyed goat hair brush, it didn't have the same fluidity as I experienced from the Fusion set, is because they are a mixture bundle of both natural and synthetic, and Sonia nailed that ratio to not only have great pickup and blend, but for everything to follow through from makeup pickup to lid application. It's all seamless, and I experienced that in her Fusion eye set, and I think you all did too, because when you try those brushes, my gosh, it was like a whole new world opened up for me, and I never looked back. Rephr also dropped 5 brushes this year, and they're like taking a little break because from all the feedback they received and in trying to decide what designs they wanted to release, I have to say, let me pick up my favorite. There's so many. These are my top picks from the 5. Forgive me for not washing them. The 37 cheek brush and the 36 concealer brush. This shape is not new to the makeup brush sector, but they nailed it because it has such a nice taper, and I love punching in my concealer. You don't have to apply a lot because the brush is pretty dense, so a lot of makeup is still left on the skin. And with the 37, I loved using this brush with my Hourglass palettes because they're so soft and baked that this brush was dense enough to pick up a little more so I could get that heavier dose of product without it looking overwhelming on the skin. Some people said that this was spiky. It is more dense than other brushes for sure, but I don't pick up the spike. However, if you have sensitive skin, then maybe go squirrel or maybe go with a longer bristle. This is from the Chikuhoro Takumi series, that compared to the Rephr brush, you see the bristles are longer, so that's going to have a little more flow in the skin than the 37. So you kind of have to figure out what is best for your skin type and whatnot, but I love those 5 brushes. In addition to the concealer brush, you had also the other concealer brush. You have the 35 Dome, which if you like to whip on your concealer versus pushing it in, the flat shader brush, and I think there was one other. I have a video again outlining all 5, having demos on that video as well. But that was a standout release for Rephr because Rephr is a great entry brand for Fude. This is mostly undyed Sokoho goat hair, which you could use with different mediums, both liquid and powder. The shapes are straightforward if you're a beginner and you need a little more guidance as to deciding which brush to use with what product. Everything is there for you on the site to kind of help you navigate that, and the prices are inexpensive for Fude. Fude usually can be expensive depending on the wood, the bristle type and whatnot, but if you are on a budget and still want to experience Japanese made brushes, Rephr is the way to go, man. I said I was gonna end with brushes, but since we're already like, I don't know, 40 minutes into this video, why don't we end, I promise this time, with some skincare. Update on the Allies of Skin 20% vitamin C serum. I really like this product. It was rough in the beginning because I was not used to the stickier texture of the serum, but I liked it so much that I signed up for their subscription on the website. They were running a Christmas sale or whatever sale they were running. I think that sale price is locked in going forward. I should double check on that, but I couldn't pass it up. Look, I have a new one on standby. It's in the box. This is a great serum, and I know it's hard to get used to if you are used to using other serums that are more watery, like the SkinCeuticals, or maybe more oil-based like their other vitamin C, 35%, formula, or even let's say the peach and lily one that's like a dry oil type of a consistency. It took me a while to get used to the stickier texture, but it was so oddly satisfying to apply. I can't really identify the reason. You know, it just left my skin feeling plush and elastic, and when I slapped on a moisturizer, it kind of lessened that tactile feel when I was done blending. And they do recommend that you apply this on damp skin, so the dampness kind of helps maneuver the stickier texture around your face, and you know, that did help a lot. Sour de Rue and Got the Misa Essence. Look at this. I bought 2 bottles. I love this stuff. It's fragrance free. It has such a nice slip to it when you apply it. And I can't honestly tell you how this contributed to my complexion, but I think my face has been looking pretty good. Pretty smooth, you know, sans the things that I was touching. This is such a great setup for the rest of my skincare routine. The fact that it leaves my skin feeling soft and silky, and again, prepped for my serums and moisturizers that follow, as well as my treatments. So at night, I do the Peach and Lily Lactic Acid treatment or my tretinoin. In the morning, I do the Allies of Skin Vitamin C, which the concert of products that I've been using for the last few months, I think I kind of nailed my routine, and I'm dead set on. Like I said, I ordered a subscription for the vitamin C, got 2 more bottles coming in, because I remember seeing that this was limited. I'm like, oh no, I don't know if Renee's gonna make this permanent, but in case she doesn't, I have a backup for the backup. I also decided to get another bottle of the Peach and Lily Good Acids Pore Toner. I like to use this in the morning after my Good Molecule Salicylic Acid Foam Cleanser, which I think after I finish, I'll just use my Rephr cleanser or the Peach and Lily Gentle Cleanser. Those 2 cleansers I love, and I appreciate the fact about the Rephr cleanser that you could get a refill pouch and just fill the bottle and not get another bottle. Helpful. But what I enjoyed about the Good Acids Toner, especially in the morning, is that it'll just kind of slough off any remaining dead skin from overnight using the lactic acid treatment or the tretinoin. It's just like a nice fresh canvas to follow with the vitamin C serum. It doesn't sting, it feels very smooth, and especially advantageous when following with makeup application. I mean, the end result just looks soft focus, baby. And with hair, when I first used Pattern, I didn't fully appreciate what it was offering me. I think because at the time I was unhappy with my hair length and shape, got a new haircut, feeling good about it. So I went back to using their leave-in conditioner. And what I like to use this for in the morning to help with detangling, but I apply it every day. And by the time we get to wash day, it doesn't feel heavy and overly producty, right? There are some products that if you apply every day, it's like, oh no, like after 5 or 6 days, it's like, ooh, I really gotta wash this off. The Pattern leave-in is super soft, and yes, I don't know if I'm be able to use this during allergy season, but hopefully since I'm using it now, my senses will get used to it, so it's not as annoying when I get into April, May. But I liked it so much I got the jumbo size during Black Friday, and I also got another mousse. So I used the mousse for my wash and go, as well as, you know, getting this all fluffed up. If I don't have my butterfly clip, which is also from Pattern, I'll have it on my updo gig with my bangs going this way, but I usually like to have this for video so the hair is off my face, and also for training. And I've gotten so used to doing the braid up the back, and I use the Pattern leave-in just to help with detangling so there's not as much snagging and breakage when I'm actually doing the braid, because I'm going past the crown of my head and it can get a little crazy, a little tangled up there, okay? So that has been my hair routine, and from skincare to hair, it's been remarkable. I have been battling my eczema. I think it's getting a little bit better because it's no longer oozing, and my itching urges are not as severe. They are worse in the morning and in the evening, and it is very cold outside, so I have been using a lot of castor oil, tallow bombs from Primarily Pure, a brand that I ran into 2022. Because I also have eczema here around my armpits, I use the tallow based deodorant that's a lot softer and more conditioning for the skin here, because I no longer could go forward using Secret since it was just way too drying, and exacerbated the itching and the eczema here on the armpits. So I'm grateful to have found Primarily Pure simply because I think a lot of their products help with the healing process of eczema, or just to kind of stabilize the condition while it gets better. The castor seed oil has been helping a lot just to lessen the dryness and also kind of lessen the urge to itch, which again I try to ignore, but sometimes it's just so hard. But you know, it looks crazy, but I think it's getting a little better, you know. I could only hope. I watch Rob Stewart, who is like an eczema, psoriasis, dermatitis YouTube creator who has suffered from those conditions for over like 8 years and is free from all of them. So he talks about different tips and from diet and what to apply on your body, just to kind of guide anyone who's looking for answers, especially since I use topical steroids, which was a mistake. And there was a period where it got worse, suffering from topical steroid withdrawal, so hard to say, syndrome, where now after using steroids, you're not using it anymore. Your skin is like, whoa, where is steroids, huh? Not using that anymore. My skin, I think, tried to stabilize itself, and now I feel like I'm on the up. But one of the main things I'm learning about dealing with eczema is that you cannot stress about it. You just have to take it day by day, not worrying about how it's looking. It's getting better. So I've been also trying to meditate because eczema is heavily tied to stress, and kind of just working that negative energy out of my body, making sure my nutrition is dialed in so I'm not eating anything that might trigger it. It's been a learning process, and it could be upsetting, but at the same time, it's not. You know, my mom and dad get stressed about it because, is it getting better? Is it getting better? I'm like, we're not going to talk about it, okay? And it's not so much I'm ignoring the condition, it's more so I'm not putting so much stock into waiting for it to get better, because the skin is the last thing to heal when all other markers are trying to find their way. And I'm happy to report that all my other markers are doing fine. It's now just a matter of experimenting again with what I'm eating, what I'm leaving out, what I have to include, what I'm applying on my body. All those things play a role. So if you are suffering from eczema, you know, it could be really frustrating, but I think the main goal is to not put so much stress into waiting for it to heal and having to make some changes in your lifestyle to perhaps contribute to it getting better. So we got this, fam. We got this, eczema squad. I think that's it for lifestyle. I need to drink some water, my goodness. 2022 has been a heavy year for me with all these types of lifestyle changes. Being an online coach and helping people also guide their way to other habits that they feel will help them from their ailments has been also new for me this year. And it really all comes down to, how can I help others if I can't even help myself? So that's why I'm adamant about these protocols, and I try to walk the walk as best as I can, because I can't ask anyone else to make these changes if I have not made them myself, if I have not experienced them myself. And although not saying that I have to be the exact same person as the one that I'm helping and coaching, I think it helps to have context, perspective, experience in making these shifts, so that when someone else is like, man, it's really tough, and I'm like, I know, because I went through the same thing when trying to walk more steps today, to change what I was eating so I could have better blood sugar regulation, to be consistent in the gym when I didn't want to go, but I went anyway. All these experiences play a role, and I think also helps me to become a better coach in not just trying to tell someone what to do, but to help guide them in what they want to accomplish, right? It could be very different for what I want to accomplish, but at the end of the day, I understand that my clients need to want this for themselves, right? I'm only there to assist them with those efforts, but I know how the efforts are because I went through them myself with a lot of instances when it comes to exercise and food. Okay, fam, I think that is it for best of 2022. I'm sure I'm missing something, but I would love to know down below what your favorite items were in terms of lifestyle. It doesn't have to be beauty. It can be anything that positively contributed to your life, that made something easier for you, that totally transformed a habit of yours or whatnot. I would love to know down below. I will see you down in those comments. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you on here again with another review tutorial, maybe an eyeshadow palette tutorial, or monthly faves. Can't wait to film that one. Take care, and I will see you again soon.